All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is our scientific notation operations, specifically division practice today. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a review, and then we're going to practice some problems together. Specifically, we're going to practice the two problems on your worksheet together, and then I'm going to pretty much let you go, and you're going to practice the rest of that page by yourself or with a partner, okay? It is important that you listen and pay attention. I am going to have you write some notes off to the side on your paper just so that you understand what you were supposed to be doing. But other than that, all you have to do is listen, pay attention, and make sure you understand how to do the specific operation that we are going over today. So as we look at this, there are some things that we should already know, and some things that, once again, we've been reviewing over now for the past several days and for over a couple of weeks. All right, we should know what our scientific form is. So once again, if I write that down, I know my scientific form should be a number, the decimal point, number, times 10 to the specific power. And I know that the number in front should be 1 to 9. And I know that these two numbers can be anywhere from 0 to 9. At this point, we should also know that our exponent, that is above our base 10, can be any negative number, 0, and any positive number, okay? So once again, if we have a positive exponent, we have a positive exponent, and I'm going to keep that short just for time. We should know that our number is getting larger, okay? And if we have a negative exponent, we should know that our number is getting smaller. So once again, these are some things that we should just know. Quick review. Once again, positive exponent, number is getting larger. Negative exponent, number is getting smaller. And we should know which way to move the decimal at this point. So what we need to go over now is the 3 steps to answer the type of problems that we're going to be dealing with today. And those problems are specifically scientific notation division. So how do I take a question such as, 2.31 times 10 to the 4th over 1.43 times 10 to the 2nd and divide this? Well, the first thing that I need to do is I need to divide the regular numbers. So let me write this down as part of our steps here. Number 1, I need to divide the regular numbers. So what does that mean? I take our decimal numbers and I divide them. Okay? The second thing I do is subtract my exponents. So I need to subtract the exponents. So I take these two numbers, and I know that my answer is still going to be in base 10, and I just subtract my exponents. So 4 minus 2 is 2. And once again, if you take your calculator or you do this with me and you divide our regular numbers, we would get 1.62, rounding to the nearest hundredth place. And my last and final step that I need to make sure that I do every single time is to make sure my answer is in scientific notation. So keep that abbreviated just for now. But once again, make sure that my answer is in scientific notation. Is it a number, decimal point, number, times 10 to the something power? In this case, it is, so I do not need to do anything. If I did need to move my decimal point, we need to understand and make sure that we know that if we are moving the decimal point to the right, we are subtracting 1, and if we need to move it to the left, we are adding 1. So that is something that we absolutely need to be able to understand and know as we continue to go through some of these things. So let's take a look at number 1 and let's try this question together. Once again, these problems are written horizontally, and we can actually change them so that they are written as a fraction with just a division bar separating the top and the bottom so that we can know that we are dividing two numbers here. So as we take a look at this problem, once again, I want to rewrite it so that it looks like a fraction so that we know that it's definitely division. So what I mean by that is just simply saying 9.0 times 10 to the 13th power over 2.0 times 10 to the 7th. Because now we can apply those 3 steps that I just said. Making sure that we divide the regular numbers, which would just be 9.0 divided by 2.0, which would get us 4.5, times, we know that our base 10 is going to stay the same, and once again, we simply just subtract our exponents. 13 minus 7 is 6. So I have 4.5 times 10 to the 6th power. The last thing I need to do is make sure that this is written in scientific notation, which we know that it is. And so I just put a box around my answer, and I know that I am done with number 1. So quick review, all we did was step number 1, divide our regular numbers. Step number 2, subtract our exponent. And step number 3, make sure that my answer is written in scientific form. And once again, we knew it was, so we are done here. The last thing that we're going to do here in this video is go over the second problem here in our second example, which is 5.2 times 10 to the 10th power divided by 2.6 times 10 to the 5th power. And once again, we're going to rewrite this so that we definitely can see the division and that we can apply the 3 steps that we want to do in order to answer these questions. So the first step here is to just simply rewrite so that we have the first set of scientific notation as the numerator, the second set as the denominator, and we're saying the exact same thing, we're just changing the way it looks. So once again, we want to divide the regular numbers here. So 5.2 divided by 2.6 is 2 times base 10 stays the same. We subtract our exponents, and 10 minus 5 is just 5. And once again, 2 is a whole number. And so if we were going to write this in scientific notation, and I'll just put a little bubble over here, it would be 2.00. So we don't have to have the zeros if we don't want to. So is this question or is this answer already in scientific notation? It is. So I just circle my answer and I know that I'm done. Once again, make sure that you apply all 3 steps to the rest of these problems. It is your responsibility to make sure you get the rest of this worksheet done. Thanks.